for now, there's one final thing I'd like to say about the Missouri 2018 ballot. And it's not something that's going to get overwhelming support in Missouri, but I don't think it's going to get overwhelming disdain either. In fact, I estimate a 55 to 45 split. Missouri did a lot of good this year. We voted for honesty, compassion, quality of life, and common sense. We voted for the sick. We voted for the worker. We voted for the people. And because we did, countless Missourians will now enjoy a better quality of life for themselves. And it's all thanks to you, Missouri citizens who went to the polls and told the government we want a better life for ourselves. But that's not the controversial part. You know, that's just a little bit of taint tickling. Everybody likes to hear that they've done good. Here's the controversial part. While Missouri voted overwhelmingly in favor of progressive issues, it also voted overwhelmingly in favor of regressive conservatives who oppose everyone to implement them. Look, I'm talking to a red state. I'm not an idiot.
You know, I'm like a smart person.
I know what that means, but can we not shout across the ideological divide for a few minutes and just talk about stuff? This isn't hyperbole, this isn't any propaganda, and I don't believe I'm going to shift any Republicans over to the Democrat side, let alone the independent side where I stand. Nevertheless, facts are stubborn things. They don't care about your feelings, and there are a few facts to consider. Fact number 1, everything Missouri just approved is a progressive cause. Fact number 2, they're considered progressive causes because conservatives oppose them. Fact number 3, conservative is a synonym for Republican. Fact number 4, Missouri just overwhelmingly voted for Republicans. Therefore, fact number 5, Missouri just voted for a bunch of people who want to kill everything Missouri just said it wants. I want to make it clear that I'm talking about conservative politicians, not conservative citizens. Conservative citizens just voted in favor of all these amendments and propositions, so obviously you've got the right idea. And you might be a little bit skeptical to hear me say that all the representatives in your party represent interests against what you just saw as good common sense this last November. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually go places like isidewith.com, where you can look up an issue and you can get each party's official position on that issue. You can also go to Open Secrets or Ballotpedia or PolitiFact. Just so I know I've done my due diligence here, PolitiFact is kind of like Snopes, except for politics. They look into the validity of stories concerning the running of our government and fact-check claims made by or about our government officials, political candidates, or other civil servants. Ballotpedia is more or less a logbook of all the votes that have gone down, so you can see who voted for what and who voted against what, etc. It also logs all the votes made by the public. Now, Open Secrets there's more to it than this, but it's essentially the same as Ballotpedia, except it logs all the money that's given. So you can see what industries or lobbies gave what politicians how much money, if you're lucky enough and they made it public. Back to the matter at hand, if you did that homework, you would see that Missouri voted in favor of Amendment 2, the legalization of medical marijuana. And you would see that the official Republican Party position on legalization of marijuana of any kind is absolutely not. True, there are some Republicans who are moving against the grain, and Josh Hawley himself said that he might consider voting for one of the proposals on the ballot, but it's still the official party position. You would also see that Missouri passed Amendment 1, the Clean Missouri Amendment, the Keep Our Politicians Honest Amendment, and you would see that Missouri Republicans opposed that amendment. In fact, each of the 3 times that amendment was challenged in court, it was a Republican effort. No. You guys feel that? Feels like I had to change the battery. Anyway, moving down the list, you'll find that Missourians approved a proposition to increase the minimum wage to $12 an hour over time. It's something that's opposed by not only the Missouri Republican Party, but also by the National Republican Party. It's something that they've always been opposed to it, and they intend to continue to oppose it. And just earlier this year, Missourians shot down Proposition A once they were given the opportunity to vote on it. It's something that was put in place, and it was intended to weaken the power of unions, organizations that are put together specifically to look out for the workers. And who brought us Proposition A? The Republican Congress and Republican Governor Eric Greitens. Look, I don't want you to think I'm just picking on Republicans, alright? Democrats are no picnic either, and I'll show you what I mean right now. In one of the few blue bastions of Missouri, Missouri's first congressional district, essentially St. Louis proper, they re-elected Representative Lacy Clay, a staunch, by-the-book party Democrat who's never done anything progressive or liberal for anyone in history that I've read about, and a man who I honestly believe is a racist. But earlier this year, we had the opportunity to run Cori Bush, a true progressive whose values are in line with most of ours. She's for Medicare for all. She's for better education, cheaper education. She's for a livable wage. And she's a lot more charismatic than Mr. Clay. But we didn't run her. She lost the primary. Some people claim that it's because she didn't get her name out there. Some people claim that it's because she didn't have a platform that resonated with people. Yeah, right. But most likely, it's just because Democrats didn't believe that she could win. Look, Missouri, what you do with this is up to you. Of course it is. It's always been your decision whether you even try to reconcile what you voted for and who you voted for. But I do believe this is a matter that deserves some self-reflection because these are facts, all right? These are not my opinions. They're facts that are lifted straight from the Republican Party's official positions on issues. And they don't seem to be in line with your values. Of course, the few things on which we voted this last November do not encompass the entirety of your value set, and I recognize that. I also recognize that while modern, Missouri is still to a certain degree governed by an old-fashioned set of values, and that might make voting for certain modern Democrats a little unsavory. I don't know. Maybe you just didn't have a better choice than the one for whom you voted. You know, I didn't love McCaskill, I saw the flaws, but I still voted for her, for example, because I felt she was the lesser of two evils. Maybe you voted for Hawley for the same reason. Maybe you voted for another Republican in another race for the same reason. Or maybe you just think that your vote is wasted on a third party. To which, let me just put out there, even if that's true, if everybody throws away their vote, that trash can fills up pretty quickly, doesn't it? Nevertheless, I don't know you, I don't know why you voted the way you voted, I don't know what made you, but I think you need to figure that out. Because if that's the case, if in fact the Republican Party does not represent what you want and what your values are, then maybe you should start putting your vote towards somebody who does.